shut down.
Here. Nobody.
Let me see if I can figure out, like, yeah, it just stopped. Even here, it's cut down.
And like, is it because I was talking about the protest?
That would be hilarious.
Oh, somebody's here. Somebody noticed. Haha. Oh, now there's 5 people here. All right, maybe people are catching on. So I don't know. Our live just disappeared and totally like closed out and everything,
it was, like,
right?
really sudden.
Jeff Krupke's back. All right, so I don't know. Maybe it was that I was talking about political things. Maybe I was talking about too many political things and they shut us down. But anyway,
yeah,
the thing got shut down.
It's really funny.
All of a sudden, everything got shut off. Okay, so we had to restart a new one. Anyway, so what I was talking about, you're like off the screen right now.
This is the best thumbnail though ever.
That is a good thumbnail.
I'm totally using that.
So
it's gonna be your new face. It's gonna go from this one to that. Okay.
Okay. So I was talking about how there's the protests, and we're at one end of the country, and all the major civilization stuff is at the other end of the country. And there's one main road that goes through the whole country, and that has been blocked off in a bunch of places by protests regarding the expensive gas. So I don't know. They're working on it. Someone's working on something. I don't know.
Also, I just want to add in, if you were asking any questions in the previous chat, I can't see them anymore until like maybe hours from now. So just re-ask them and include the word question or some kind of symbol that shows me that it's something to get my attention.
Yeah, sorry that all disappeared.
Yeah.
So for us personally, the only effect we've had from the Panama protests are that there's less food in the stores. You can't get propane. And there's a few other, I mean, just stores are running out of stock of stuff because they can't get stuff here.
They actually ran out of electricity based almost on the island. They were rationing it.
Well, yeah, that's the other thing. On the main island where we go to where the big store is, or I don't know where we go shopping.
Yeah, the main island.
Yeah,
that's what I would call it.
They were rationing electricity, turning it off for part of the day and on for part of the day, but that's because they're running on gasoline generators,
diesel,
right?
Yeah,
diesel
generators,
which I'm sure is also the price has gone way up, and they can't get it because the road is. So they did get some,
yes.
But I'm sure it's harder to get, and that's why they're rationing electricity. So last time I went there, the lights were off everywhere. I heard a bunch of generators, and I was like, "Well, why are so many generators on?"
Right.
And then I went to the grocery store I always go to, and yeah, the lady there was telling me that. They're off for like 6 hours.
And then as far as I know, they came back on at nighttime.
Yeah. And their freezers still had frozen stuff, so I was very careful to open quick and get my stuff and close it again.
Yeah.
To not let the cold out.
They also weren't letting in any of the produce or anything like that, but they finally did let some of the produce trucks through.
The protesters let the food through?
Yeah, well, sort of.
Sort of?
Yeah.
Some of it?
Some of it.
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of a mess.
Yeah, it's kind of a mess.
Although, on a related topic, a lot of Panama should be fine because a lot of people, what's it called when you farm for yourselves? Oh, there's a word for
homesteading.
Well, homesteading, but like a lot of people farm just like for their families and feed themselves.
Garden?
No, there's a word for this.
I don't know. I can't think of it either.
Like NATO has a mandate to end this because they don't want people farming for themselves. But anyway, there are a lot of people in this country who farm their own food, who grow their own food. So
self-sufficiency farming? That's what somebody just suggested.
No, there's a really specific word for it, but it doesn't matter. Oh, I'm gonna sit here trying to figure out what it is for like 20 minutes.
Yes, tomatoes. We had to start a new stream because we were suddenly.
Did tomatoes just catch up?
Just cut in. So,
yeah, I don't know what happened. It totally closed out. We couldn't. Farming? Yeah, I think that might be it. Subsistence farming.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, our live just got totally shut down.
Yeah, it was really weird.
I don't know.
I think it was my tablet because it's.
No, I bet someone at YouTube was like, who's in charge of the stuff, was like sitting there going, and fell asleep and hit a button and was like, oh no.
Oh my God, wouldn't it be funny if all of the lives suddenly stopped at the same time?
Because some guy fell asleep.
We should ask about that.
No, I think it's because I was discussing the protests and they're like, oh, this guy's not talking about that. No way, bam. I'm just kidding about that.
Rebecca says autarky.
What? Like autistic turkeys? I don't know. Autark? I don't know.
I don't know either.
I don't know what that means.
Okay, so are you going to be having a solar grid on your islands?
Well, I mean, we have solar power on it. I'm not sure what the question asks. Is it like, am I going to have a grid where other people could connect to it? No. But, I mean, we have solar power on our islands. Yeah. We don't need a grid.
Right.
I mean, if I need electricity to a building, I just run the wire straight there. I don't need to put it on a grid or anything. You know, like a city where they've got a grid of wires running everywhere.
Maybe they're saying a microgrid because people like to throw around those fancy words.
I don't even know what this nonsense means.
It just means that you have solar panels that go into a controller and a battery and an inverter.
Yeah, maybe I'm old.
An MPPT. Which, okay, I want to know what the hell that is because.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
You want to know the difference between an MPPT and a PWM?
Yeah.
Okay, pulse width modulation is the one type of charge controller.
Okay.
So this is between your solar panels and your batteries. You have something to control the electricity coming into the batteries so the batteries don't explode or whatever.
Right.
There are different ways you can do it. Pulse width modulation, or MPPT, which is maximum power point thing.
Terminal?
I'm just going to say thing.
Transistor?
I don't know. Thing. What is it called?
Turkey?
MPPT is well, let me start with the older one, the one that's less high tech. Okay, with the pulse width modulation, the pulse width basically means it's pulsing the electricity, turning it off and on really fast, which works totally fine. You just have to have your solar panels and your batteries, you have to have the voltage matched. So if you're charging, like we have 24 volt battery banks. So if you're charging 24 volt batteries, you need solar panels that are like 30 volts, 35, 6, whatever, 30, let's just say 30-ish volts, as long as you got short wires and you're not losing too much electricity. Well, okay, you want a little more than 30. Let's say 32 volts. So you have your 32 volt solar panels, and if you connect those directly to your batteries, it would charge them. But it would overcharge them at some point when they're full, and then, can melt them,
and then they'd explode?
Whatever. Sure,
would they explode?
No.
Okay.
They would just.
Yeah, that's so kind of.
Yeah, they should explode. Anyway, it'll overcharge them and wreck the batteries. Is all what would really happen.
Would they melt or anything?
So you put this pulse width modulation charge controller in the way, and it stops the electricity at the right time, and it kind of controls the electricity going in, so it's at the right voltage when the batteries are whatever, when the batteries are really low in, and as they start getting closer to their maximum, it slows it down. Anyway.
Stop doing that.
Okay.
You're shaking the screen.
So the pulse width modulation works, and it's a fairly simple set of electronics, but it's still a little complicated. But it basically just turns off and on the electricity coming from the solar panels, which you can do yourself.
Right.
You wouldn't do it, as perfectly or whatever. But I've had situations where I had the solar panels and the batteries, and my charge controller broke, and I was just like, well, let me just attach a voltmeter to it, and I'll connect the batteries and disconnect them and just kind of pay attention to it. I actually had that for months in the houseboat because I was like, I don't want to get a new thing in a place that I'm moving out of. And the advantage of the pulse width modulation is that your solar panels are matched to your batteries, so you could connect them directly if your charge controller breaks. Okay, the new technology is the maximum power point
turkey
thing. Someone's gonna maximum power point turkey. Is that what it is? Tracking?
I don't know, but that's what
it could be.
That's what
I'm just gonna call it maximum power point thingy. That you can put you don't have to match the voltage of your solar panels to your batteries. Generally, you have
tracking.
Fine. generally you have higher voltage coming, because the higher voltage you have, the smaller wires you need, et cetera, et cetera. Generally, people have a lot higher voltage in their solar panels charging their lower voltage batteries. So maybe you have 100 volts coming down, and if you connected that right to your batteries,
they would explode?
It might blow them out. It would probably more like melt stuff, but it would overcharge them quickly and then melt them, and maybe not quickly. It depends how much electricity is coming in. But anyway, the maximum power point thing takes the high voltage coming in, and it goes like this. What's the best voltage we could possibly set this to be to charge these batteries? The best right now, maximum power point. And it does some fancy electronics, and it's kind of complicated and
super fast.
It's super fast, but it's also, I think it's overcomplicated. But it will, pretty efficiently convert the 100 volts into whatever the best voltage is to charge the batteries at that moment. So technically, you can charge your batteries faster with a maximum power point thing. However, if it burns out and it is more complicated electronics and it's more expensive and it's easier to break, more things can go wrong. If it breaks, you can't just take your wires and connect them to the batteries, for a couple days while you get a new one. Like, you're kind of screwed. So I personally like the pulse width modulation because, worst case scenario, your thing breaks, you can still connect your wires.
Which is what I have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what you have.
Jeff Krupke would like to know.
But I don't think you should do that because you don't pay attention enough.
Yeah, I'm not going to.
Yeah.
Jeff Krupke would like to know, is it okay for him to get the Adventure Builders symbol with all the little things tattooed on his arm?
That would be amazing. Yes, that would be great.
Only if you send us a picture.
Yeah, you gotta send us a picture, man. Yeah. I've actually, if I was gonna get a tattoo, I would get Adventure Builder symbols tattooed along my forearms.
No, come on, get them done like I did on your...
Like the ghetto, gangster. No, I would want them on my forearms because I could see them. They're for me.
Yeah.
And I would just, yeah.
You should do it. You get a whole sleeve.
I get the whole thing tattooed on my head. I don't need hair. I've got Adventure Builder stuff.
Like a yarmulke. No, you get
poker
on your knuckles.
Thing. Yeah. Oh, if I got something on my knuckles, it would probably start with F and end with off.
Yeah.
I've got a special message for you. Not that that's all I ever think about. There are marvelous people in the world that I love.
Okay, but the more important thing is, Jeff, the only way
totally do it, man.
It's done is if you're not a dick.
Yeah, you can't be a dick.
Don't be a dick.
No, but if he's getting these symbols tattooed on himself, I presume he's going to be taking them pretty seriously. None of this, well, I thought it was the truth at the time, so it counts as telling the truth. I'm also still of my honor. No. You got to do it for real.
Have you considered, Bob Cratchit would like to know, have you considered doing...
Have I considered Bob Cratchit? Not really.
Doing a double hull skin boat where the supporting lattice between them creates buoyancy regions, so it doesn't matter if one section gets holed. Easy to retrofit to? Do you need to read that question? Because I may not have asked that correctly. It's at the top.
Have you considered doing a double hull skin boat? I'm not sure what a skin boat is.
Me neither.
Is it like skin stretched over something? Where the supporting lattice between them creates buoyancy regions, so it doesn't matter if one section gets whole. I guess I haven't really.
Yeah.
I guess no.
Okay. So
I've probably thought about it.
I see your boats sitting there with their solar panels in the videos. Obviously, he's not spying on you. Do you plug them into your home system when you aren't using your boats?
Generally, no. Most of the solar panels on my boats are plastic ones, and the lightweight, flexible plastic ones. And they're supposed to last like 7 to 9 years in the tropical sun. So I don't want them out in the sun all the time. So I often close them. So, the one boat, I'll close them so they're not out in the sun. And the other boat, I'll kind of tip them like facing the trees so it doesn't get that much sun. And also, they're in the shade most of the day. It's just when the sun's like straight up, they get a bit of sun, but then most of the day they're not in the sun. And I want them to be not in the sun so the solar panels don't degrade. And no, I don't connect them to my house. I do have it doesn't matter. I do have the one boat with the glass solar panels on, which will last a long time, but that one's shaded most of the day too. Yeah.
So I want to go start making lunch, but there's one more question. How much of the waste your family generates can you repurpose?
I don't know. I don't know how to answer it.
I don't either.
Like lots? I would say I use up more garbage than I create. But that's mostly because my house is made out of styrofoam, which I collected from like town. I collect a lot of styrofoam. Even by weight, it's kind of a lot of styrofoam. Like it definitely outweighs how much garbage I make.
Right.
And we don't, yeah. I think my main way of dealing with garbage is just to try to not make it. And to try to keep any garbage as non-plastic as possible. Because like anything paper I can use. Like even my, I use a lot of cement and it comes in these plastic bags. So I make sure I cut the plastic bags open along the seams or near the seams. And then I take when I'm done with the cement, I'll shake out the bag, rip off the ends so I have a big flat sheet and I put that in my art supplies. I sweep them off first so there's no cement. But I actually drew a picture on one yesterday.
There's plastic in the cement bags?
Cement bags? No. Why do you think there's plastic?
You just said plastic.
No, there's...
I was saying, wait, I thought they were made out of paper.
I meant to say the cement bags are paper.
Yeah, you got me completely
not plastic. Well, I may have said the wrong word. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
But
we're talking about the paper bag part.
The paper bags that the cement bags come in.
Got it.
Paper.
Yes, that makes perfect sense.
So I take the paper bags that the cement came in and I use them as drawing paper. And like cardboard, right now Aurora's making a dollhouse. It's pretty cool. You should see it.
I've seen parts of it. The one where I threw the boxes to
really
her and
elaborate.
Said, make something really cool out of this.
But she's got like all this furniture and all this food and all the utensils and she gets really detailed with these doll houses.
Yeah.
I want to get her doing them in wood because the cardboard's not going to last.
Right.
But anyway, we do stuff with the cardboard, and what I do with a lot of the cardboard is just use it to light fires.
I was thinking of putting a Dremel kit on the wish list for Aurora. Because I think that would be super cool for her birthday in October.
Yeah.
So,
I should look around and see if I have one for her.
I feel like I saw one somewhere.
I have one, but I don't want to give her my one because then I'm going to have to take it back all the time. I wanted her to have her own.
But I do want to get her own Dremel kit because I think she would use it.
She would, totally.
She was stoked when she got this sewing machine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My daughter just got this old hand crank sewing machine, like old. Was it like
1911?
Oh, geez, it's like 111 years old?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's an old sewing machine. Anyway.
I could show it to your people. It's right behind
shape.
you.
Can you?
Yeah, I can show it.
Oh, look at that. Oh, no, it's stuck. What's it stuck on? Oh, it's stuck on that. Here, you go get. Ooh, isn't that nice? But it's got the hand crank and totally functional and everything. Okay, don't mess with the thing. Your hand's blocking most of it. Anyway, it totally works.
Yeah.
It's in the shot. You don't have to move it over. Okay. But it doesn't need electricity or anything. It's just a hand crank sewing machine. And she made herself, someone sent it to her. John sent it to her. Thanks, John. Oh my God, she loves it.
That sailboat, isn't he finishing that sailboat, or they just launched it?
Yeah, I think I talked about it in one of the other videos.
What's the name of the boat again?
Oh, now I'm blanking. But Aurora just made herself like a princess dress with that sewing machine, which is really nice and it fits and everything. And it's got like all kinds of ruffles. It was like a Sleeping Beauty princess dress. It was
it's actually
nice.
The dress from Sleeping Beauty.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Version.
The pink version, not the blue version.
Not the blue version. Eric Bauerfeld would like to know, if you didn't have solar panels, do you think you could still harness the sun, make some kind of mirror-powered steam turbine?
Yeah, although I think if I wasn't doing solar panels, I would do a windmill. I kind of want to do a windmill anyway. Mm-hmm. But yes, I do think that would be an option. It would be tricky to keep everything clean all the time, all the mirror surfaces. And I feel like that would take kind of a lot of maintenance. But like here, there's I wouldn't say a steady wind, but there's often a wind coming from the north, or at least from the north-ish. So I wouldn't even have to have something that necessarily turns to face the sun. I could just build the big Dutch building windmill thing, or like in
Right, on
Nausicaa
top of
of
your
the Valley
building.
of the Wind, which is a Studio Ghibli movie. Actually, it's pre-Studio Ghibli. Anyway, like make a big building with a big windmill on it. I kind of want to do that. Is someone up there? That's the baby.
You go potty. You come down, you go potty.
So I kind of want to build like a building and have a windmill on it, and then off the windmill, like have the shaft coming from the windmill go into gears that comes down like into a building, and then run a bunch of stuff directly off that. You know, kind of like the old style, how they used to do it with all the, you know, they'd have machine shops running off belts, off like there'd be like one main shaft coming through the building, and there would just be like either clutches or belts you can connect or disconnect to run whatever machinery you're using. I think that would be really cool to have. And I think it'd be fun to set up. And then, you know, you don't have to worry about electricity or all that stuff working. The nice thing about mechanical things is that they're repairable. That's my biggest problem with electronic stuff. It's like, if there's something electronic, I can't replace like a integrated circuit or something like that. I could replace wires or switches and stuff like that, but like an integrated circuit or, you know, any kind of computer processor, once that blows, it's like you have to replace it. You can't repair it or make it yourself. And I like to be able to at least have the ability to make the thing myself. And you can pretty much always do that with mechanical stuff. Even with something complicated like gears, if you have to sit there with a file by hand, you know, you can do it. Hey, you took the tablet away. Now I can't see what the...
I'm putting back down.
No, I'm going to...
Joseph Bowmeister says apparently it's okay to eat a snack while we're doing our show.
It's okay for us to eat a snack while doing our show?
Yeah.
Should we get some popcorn and munch and crunch it?
Yeah,
So we have a thing, at least at my house, where you're not supposed to eat like a possum.
well, yeah, and not out of the kitchen.
No, yes, there are many other things you're not supposed to do about it, but I'm not going to go through every rule in my house.
No, I just meant those two things are relevant.
You're not... Anyway, so you're not supposed to eat like a possum. We saw this video of possums eating, and they don't have big enough lips to keep their lips closed while they're chewing. So in this video, there's just a whole bunch of like this family of possums sitting beside each other, just... And it was very, very funny and super cute. But one of Capitan Police's rules, this is Carcanyon when he's being Capitan Police, he has a bunch of rules on the wall. One of those rules is no eating like a possum because you are a human. No eating like a possum if you're a human. You have to close your lips. I stole her thing. I'm going to look at what's going on.
Don't start messing up the order of what I've got. Let me have the back.
Oh, someone said thanks to for me making videos.
Yeah.
Someone from India.
From India.
I've never been to India. I did actually think about going to India before, when I was thinking about where in the world we should go. Because there are a lot of people in India, at least according to YouTube, who are very handy and into do-it-yourself stuff. And like,
apparently Tomatoes wants to buy the Dremel kit for Aurora, so he told me to put it on the wish list and he would get it for her.
No way, Tomatoes, that's awesome.
That's what he just said.
Tomatoes are awesome, thanks, man.
Did the Freemason logo have an impact on your Adventure Builder logo?
I actually don't know what the Freemason logo looks like.
Do you want me to tell you?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's...
So no, but yeah, what is it?
The right angle ruler.
Okay.
Like it's like the ruler that's this and this, and then it's the circle drawer.
I feel like
thing.
I would recognize it. Okay, yeah. I think I vaguely know it. Yeah,
what's the circle drawer?
Circuit drawer compass thing.
Yeah, the compass, and it's like so the right angle thing's like this, and then the circle drawer compass thing is kind of open, like that's basically. Is
there more to it?
There is, but I just can't remember the rest of it.
I feel like I would recognize it if I saw it, but I guess similar inspiration because they're tools and Adventure Builder symbols, tools, and smiley face.
Okay, so I don't see any other questions.
And you're hungry and want to go
really
eat.
Hungry.
Oh, come on, give me that.
No, there's no other questions. You stop it.
I'm going to answer 2 more questions.
Okay, 2 more questions. Let me see if anything comes up.
I'll just make up some questions to
Yeah,
answer.
that's fine.
You ask me a question.
Somebody says, Vlog says, question.
Oh.
Okay. How about sun tracking solar panels? Maybe a tube with 4 light resistant diodes with a small geared down motor on each.
My position on that is that it's not worth the complication.
I would agree with you, and I think some of your viewers would also agree with you. There's one out there that actually did a whole video series on it, and he said it's not worth the like amount of.
Well, the way I think about it is like you can get some more sun by having the thing track the sun, but the amount, like, then you have all these moving parts, and you have to either build, buy, whatever, some combination of stuff. All the resources that go into that, you could just like get a couple extra solar panels instead.
Right, exactly. Have you thought of building a tilapia pond?
Oh, but my boats, they do aim, although I do that manually.
Yeah.
Tilapia pond, we talked about that a few times. Yeah. There's someone in town. They have tilapia, right?
Yep.
There are actually 2 people in the area that I know of who have ponds.
There's a person in Bogus that actually sells them or whatever, and there's my friend of mine who has the pond with the water hyacinth in it.
Well, that's 3 people then.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I've thought about it. Like up on top of my island, I dug a hole a little while ago, and it's holding water. I mean, I dug a hole because I was digging a hole because I wanted to flatten out that area. And I just wanted to dig a hole that was down to the right depth so I could see where it is. But the hole is holding water. So on the top of my island, I could just dig a hole and it will be a pond. Like the rain will fill it up. And it rains enough that it would stay pretty much full. And I don't think there's ever a time where there's a long enough period without rain that it would ever dry up. So I think I could do it, but then it would be just a standing pond, like no moving water or anything. Although we do also have a stream, but it's like a quarter mile away from the ocean.
Maybe I'll move over there.
Yeah, if you move over there, you could keep an eye on it, and we could dig out a pond, and the stream water could run in, and it can run out, and we just have to put like a grating so the fish don't accidentally go down the stream out into the ocean and die.
Somebody would like to know if you've looked into steam engines or building a steamboat.
I thought about it, yeah. I don't know if I kind of want to do that actually.
Have you ever tried making glass?
No. Well, actually, yeah. I did put some sand in a fire and got it really hot, and it like kind of clumped together. I don't even know if it was good enough that it was glass, but yeah. But I not in any in-depth way, more like just a kind of screwing around way.
Are you allowed to use fishing nets?
I don't think you are allowed to use fishing. I mean, you can use like a little fishing net,
I think the indigenous people are, but they're in a different.
Oh, okay.
They have different rule books.
I see a lot of not indigenous people using big fishing nets. The guys we saw one being put out today, right out in the middle, like where everyone could see it.
Part of the indigenous village.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I know there are definitely some.
Oh yeah, definitely.
People who aren't supposed to be putting them out, who are putting them out. And the problem with these, it's like a giant fishing net that just encompasses. I'm not showing it as big as it is with my hands. Just pretend this is like, I don't know,
my entire island,
50 meters across or something. The problem is, it just catches everything, big fish, little fish, and then people pull this net out and like, I don't know, half, 3/4 of what they pull out, they kill, but they're not keeping. So the problem is it just kills so much of the fish. Yeah, it sucks.
So Bob Crotchet would like to say, you both are a breath of fresh air, insanity in this increasingly crazy world. Thank you, and bon appetit.
Bon appetit. Yeah. I'm glad to be a breath of fresh air. That's good. Because sometimes I get called just straight up crazy. So the other way, are you saying goodbye? Mm-hmm. You're anti-Vulcaning?
Yeah,
you're an weird alien. You're being weird. Do they know about the weird game?
No.
Okay. The weird game kind of goes like this. And I need to keep doing this until the person I'm doing it to says, "Are you being weird?" And then we both laugh.
Somebody wants to know if you guys are friends with benefits.
I get no benefits out of you.
Wine until like a week ago.
What are you talking about?
Anyway, moving on.
What? No.
Bye.
All right. I think we're going to have lunch now.
Yeah, I have to make
Before we get in a fight.
It's just gonna make a lot of noise.
All right,
That's
we gotta
why,
go.
Like, I want to shut the live down.
All right, you should shut this live down.
Live down. We need more thumbs up.
We need more thumbs up. Okay.
Thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
I'm playing the weird game right now, by the way. Someone has to type, are you being weird?